Thanks, James, for the kicking off the meeting. I'm Matt Wilson. I'm the Nutrient Management Program Lead. Work very closely with James, Dale, Maya. Brittany just went off on maternity leave, but I think she's actually on the call today. That's dedication. And then, of course, Shannon and Carol are our admin staff. And just a big thank you from the approvals unit to all the consultants and certified farmers for all the hard work you put into the strategies that you send to us. We've definitely noticed a great improvement in the quality and the work you're putting into these strategies, which is making our job that much easier and efficient to get them through in a relatively efficient time. And I can show you a few numbers on that coming up. Oh, geez, now what's going on? Oh, there it goes. You think it's my first time with a computer. So just a couple of things we'll look at. So we didn't actually meet. We normally have these meetings in February of the year, so we didn't have a February meeting. So I've got the 2020 numbers I'll show you quickly, and then just where we are to date for 2021. Some of the feedback we've had in previous meetings is the numbers aren't of that great interest to you. So I kept it short and sweet on the numbers. And there's a few regulatory changes I can update you on. So just fancy graph here, just kind of showing where we are in the program. And this top bar here is the combined number of strategies and nutrient and NASM plans that we receive per year. You'll know that it's the same team that does all the reviews. This blue number here, this is the turnaround time. And for those of you that have been around since 2017, you remember that year where we had a really high number of strategies and a high turnaround time that we've been really working through the years to get back down to where it should be. And that's where we are today. So you'll see that to date, we've received just under 1,000 strategies and NASM plans combined. And this is only up till the end of October. So once we get November and December in, I expect we'll be up around that 1,000 mark, which is where we expect to be. Kind of an average year is around 1,000 submissions per year. Pretty good news on the turnaround time. We've done pretty well this year, keeping it down around the 20-25 days, and those are working days, so around the 4 weeks or so, and that number will come down a little bit as well, because right now we're pretty well caught up, so things are getting through pretty quickly, which brings that overall turnaround time down. So pretty much an average year this year, and last year as well was about an average year around that 1,000 submissions, and again the turnaround time was pretty good last year as well. So just on similar to Janet's numbers there, just when we pull the program data, we just like to look at where we are in terms of, most of this is for interest sake, the livestock types that we're seeing in strategies and the total nutrients units we're seeing in strategies. But when you look here just at the number of approvals, this is year to date. So since the beginning of the program, this would be up until the end of 2020. Yeah, it's just up to the end of 2020. This does not have this year's numbers in it with it. So we're just around 6,800 farms in the program now with strategies. In 2020, there was 513 approvals issued. And just to give you an idea of kind of the average numbers that we're seeing in strategies in terms of nutrient units and acres, it just shows you here. So when you look at all the program data, the average number is about 226 nutrient units per strategy. When you look at the median, that's around 120. The average acres per farm unit's around 200, and the median is around 112. So kind of where we'd expect it. When you look at just for interest rate in 2020, those numbers are creeping up a little bit. The average nutrient units is up to 254, median a little higher. The average farm unit acres 210, and the median around 107, down a little bit. So again, just mostly for interest sake. You know, definitely when we add on the 500 to 550 strategies that we approved this year, that'll push up the overall numbers. We may hit 7,000. I'm not sure, because there's definitely many farms that are coming in for the second time or second or more times. So you know, the number of approvals that we issue doesn't necessarily equate to a new farm that's into the program. A lot of them are coming in for the second or more times. So that's just the numbers, and I do have lots of numbers. If anybody's ever interested in other questions or some of the numbers that we have, I do total the numbers at the end, or we as a program total the numbers at the end of the year. So we will update all these numbers with the 2021 stuff early in the new year and have it available if you do have questions, or yeah, we have the numbers and happy to discuss them. Just on the reg change. Things that are happening. You remember back 2019, we removed the 5-year cessation of nutrient management strategies. 2020 was the kind of the COVID year. That was when we were all kind of asked to work on COVID things, and there was some COVID type reg changes that were temporarily thought of for the program, but weren't actually implemented. Nothing really to do with strategies. It was some other materials that people thought we may need some different rules for a short period. So there wasn't any kind of burn reduction things that happened in 2020. But you will remember this year, you should have got notification this year, July 1st, 2021, was when there was changes to the regulated mixed digestion facility regulations. And Jake's going to walk us through some of those soon, so I won't dwell on that. But the future proposals, which we will likely see pretty soon, you should have seen or been aware of an EBR posting, environmental bill registry maybe, was posting back in the summer that was proposing to remove the 5-year cessation of the AOPC certificate. So that's we call that the farmer certificate. So those are people that are preparing a strategy for their own farm, or an employee of that farm preparing a strategy. It was proposed that we remove the cessation of that certificate. So that was one of the reg changes that is being considered. And just a bit, I know we had some feedback from some of the consultants, just that, why wouldn't you do this for our consultant certificate as well? Some of the logic, and this is most of these reg changes are coming from suggestions from livestock organizations, or it's not necessarily things that we as the program are proposing. It's things that we're being asked to consider by the public. And some of the logic around that farmer certificate was seen as a lower risk certificate. If it's a farm that's a person that's become certified to prepare a strategy for their own farm, they've taken the training, they've prepared likely a strategy for their farm, shown that they can do it. Not a lot of value in making them go back and take those same courses again to become certified to continue on for the next 5 years. So that was some of the logic. We definitely see the consultant certificate as one that we need to make sure there's significant rigor in that certification process, and that's why that 5-year renewal requirement is still in place for consultants. Making sure you take that exam, you can still show us that you know the regulation, you can pass the exam, and that sets you up for the next 5 years, kind of thing. So that's a bit of the logic. Not saying you're necessarily going to agree with it, but that's what it has been proposed. The other one is administrative changes to the nutrient management protocol. So anybody that's taken the courses recently, remember the big book that, or the reg book that we give you that has the act, the regulation, and the protocol. The protocol hasn't been updated for 5, 6, 7 years now, and you'll know that there's been some reg changes that have occurred in that window. So the protocol was getting out of sync or out of date with the regulation. So a lot of the changes that are in the protocol changes are really just getting it in line with the regulation, and that administrative updates is key. There's nothing fundamentally changing. It's just getting it up to date. Our legal departments were really pushing us that we needed to take out any of the pieces in the protocol that are better suited for a fact sheet. Any of the guidance material that's kind of in the protocol now, that shouldn't be part of a regulatory program, and it needs to be somewhere else. So some of that has been stripped out. But really, when you're preparing a strategy or nutrient management plan, nothing is changing. You won't notice anything different that you need to do now with these protocol changes if and when they are implemented. It's gone through the consultation periods, and the recommendation is that these changes do go forward, but it will be up to the cabinet office, I guess, who will make the final decision, and we'll likely see that relatively soon. I would guess sometime this year still we will see these changes be either yes, we're going ahead, or no, we're not, kind of thing. So that's where that one's at. And that's it for me for approvals. That other slide I'll go through after Jake's presentation on the digester stuff. It's just a bit of guidance on how to prepare strategy with that has a digester. So I'll leave it at that.